Mishmin Tuhis, Kanyon CoyoteWoman. I am roaming around Redwood City, and I'm hanging out with the roaming alone. I'm taking pictures of various spots, like cool little historical landmarks, promoting some local artists, various things that I encounter, hanging out with the one and only, soon to have an international cousin. Exciting news for the roaming alone. But I realize that many people who meet me get to know about the history of this little guy. I think he's the Paladin, a little native figurine Paladin, but very similar to the little green army guy. But an accurately depicted native figurine in his regalia with a clapper stick and feather regalia and necklace. Actually having a native representation of local indigenous peoples and perspectives. Now, the presentation where he goes is he's sometimes sarcastic, educational, and I am here in San Mateo County, Redwood City, and I am ironically by an institution that I divested in. And oh, look at that, it says 1850. That's when history starts. That's when the history of this space starts. So when you think about it, set back over 150 years when downtown Redwood City was made up of creeks and wharves. Discover the town, how it's got its name, and the indigenous redwood forest from out in the lumber industry spawned. Start anywhere on the path on the map and go to this kiosk and you get to check out all the amazing pride in the history of this city. That's 1-4. And as a native, I honor 4 directions. I honor 3 and I honor 7. Alright, its origins. Honoring community history. No reference to natives. Oh, gee, I don't think they want to, because wasn't it Wells Fargo that took advantage of taking over the land? And all threats. Main Street, Broadway, 1887. Oh, 1887. Wasn't that the Dow's Allotment Act that allotted California natives land to free up California? Actually, Indian Canyon got some land. My great-great-grandfather got a tiny little bit of land for being a native. And it wasn't really safe then. So the government made land available by saying, identify that you're a California native and every man will get like 140 acres, every woman 90, every child 40 acres to free up California from the natives who inhabited it. In the 1850s, the U.S. government put out in excess of $1.4 million. Right around $5 a head, 50 cents a scalp, a lot of reimbursements to supplies to eradicate the California native. So, no acknowledgement there. Community history. A path of history. Oh, walking tour. Ooh, so awesome. You get to see all the cool historical landmarks post-contact. Now, another thing I want to ask you. Let's play a game. And it's going to be the first word you think of. What is the first word or thoughts that come up when I say this word? Prehistoric. When I say prehistoric, at least the mainstream community, I think the general consensus is dinosaurs. Prehistoric actually means pre-contact. Pre-contact, pre-mission, pre-colonial history. So good. That too. Troll. So, pre-contact. Prehistoric. My ancestors are prehistoric. And people, broad consensus of the community, associates that with dinosaurs. When indigenous peoples have been the stewards of the land for thousands of years, even if you believe in the Bering Strait theory, that's still thousands of years of land stewardship, maintaining this space, and we're just always not present in any historical context, any reference. And then in some history books, when we're brought up, we're called hunter-gatherer peoples. Hunter-gatherers, like Neanderthals, just, I'm gonna pick this up and I'm gonna eat this, I'm gonna gather this. There's no reference to being true ecologists, permaculture designers, chemists, engaging in animal and plant husbandry, and stewarding the land to maintain and sustain ancient technologies. When it came to surviving off the land, guess what? When all this internet, when all mainstream society is no longer functioning, it's going to be the indigenous peoples. But no reference to indigenous peoples at all. So I'm proud to say, I'm glad history is a focus here. I am dismayed to say, where is the reference to the original peoples that were here before colonization? So that's me and the roaming Ohlone off on a little rant. And I hope you start looking around your city, seeing if there are references to the native peoples that aren't depicted as historic figurines that are, let's say like that racist statue in San Francisco, on the ground as if we are not so noble savages and getting saved by the colonizers of the Spaniards and missions and priests and all those other people who looked at us as savage and uncivilized because we didn't have the various technologies they did, or observances of how society functions the way they did, or don't have value systems in how we choose to maintain our communities, our economic status, our ways of life. If we align with indigenous values, we would recognize that we don't care about the quarterly dividends. We don't care about the 1, 2, 5, 10-year plan. We care about the 1 to 7 generation plan. How our actions, our words impact those around us, our community, our environment, our kin, animals and plants, and the whole environment around us. We would care about how our decision impacts that if we align with indigenous value sets. We would align knowing what undrip meant. We would recognize native land. Hashtag honor native land. Look it up. nativeland.ca or nativeland US. You can actually find out the original peoples of the land that you are on. I'm really excited to see that the website is getting updated. So I think they got so much traffic and they're so focused on honoring truth and history, and it's beautiful. I'm so very happy. So there are amazing things happening. But if you want to learn about the original peoples of this territory, especially the Bay Area that is known as Silicon Valley, check out the Ohlone curriculum. It's a free academic resource, up to California standards. Just type in Ohlone curriculum, and you'll find out who the Ohlone people are. Oh gee, that there isn't a tribe, that there isn't a singular person, that there are many languages, there are many people, and Ohlone is a 19th, 20th century phrase that some of us align with and some of us don't. You'll learn about Costanoan, Costaños. That's not how us native peoples identify ourselves. We use it in some documents to help align with historical archival materials, but actually talk to a native person, talk to an indigenous person of the land. Become familiar. I encourage that. All right. Tom Sanak, Kanyon CoyoteWoman, and roaming Ohlone out.